Welcome to the Planvine lineup venue wizard tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to talk through step one of the three-step process that is part of the venue creation and review project which you are working on. And so in this one, step one, we're going to talk through how we collect venues and start adding them to the system. Venue collection and creation is split into two processes, or two steps rather. The first is about collecting the initial venue details, so the name of the venue and the website URL, and perhaps a Facebook page if there is one. And then the second step is the fuller details, which need to be added to that venue once it's been collected. So when you log in, you have your login to data2.planvine.com, and when you log in front of you, you will see this page. It's a queue of tickets which have been assigned to you, and what you're looking at there is the second step in the venue creation or review project. It's actually, when you first log in, the initial thing you want to do is go to the create or review venue. That's actually step one, and that's what this tutorial is going to be focused on. So when you log in, if you're working on the step one process, you want to go to create or review venue. If you're working on the step two process, which is when we have the fuller details, then you will be looking at the queue in front of you, and you can use the video help that is already there. So what we do for step one is we go to create or review venue, and this is where we are going to start the process of collecting venues or reviewing existing venues. So the first thing is obviously to identify the venues that you're going to be adding. There's a number of sources out there, and we can supply different sources and different lists of venues to add. I've got a few up here which I'm going to use as examples. So the first thing to do is to get the venue names. Now this is the Crown and two chairmen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the venue name, and I'm going to what essentially we need to do is we need to look up in real time whether that venue is currently on the system. So if I type in the Crown, nothing comes up. So what I'm also going to do is I'm just going to do a quick check on Crown, and you'll see we have two examples that have come up here where Crown is in the venue name, and neither of those are the Crown and two chairmen. So that means we don't have the venue. I can add in the venue name. Let me just spell that correctly. And add that name into the box. That's fine. And then I need to add, if I try and hit next now, I'll be told I need to add a website URL. So I'm going to go there, and I'm going to take the URL and add that in. And you'll also see here we say, please add a Facebook ID if the page, if the venue has a Facebook page which can easily be identified. Now, when I'm on the website here, I can very clearly see they have a Facebook page because they are linking to it. I'm going to just open that in a new link, and I'm going to take the Facebook ID. So now this is the part of the URL for that page which is after facebook.com. It can be the name of the venue. It could be a number, but it's that part after facebook.com, and I'm going to add that into the Facebook ID field. So that's fine. I've got everything I need. If there isn't any Facebook ID, I'd leave that blank. I wouldn't worry about it. I hit next, and that then is that venue queued. So that's been added. You won't see it here straight away. That goes into a separate queue, and it will then be assigned to this queue for the full details to be entered, which is the second step. But that's that one's done. That example's done. I'm going to go back to create or review venue, and I'm going to add a new one. So I'm going to add this one here. Let me just close that one. So the Poetry Cafe is this one. So I'm going to look up and add that venue. So there you go. Nothing's appeared. So that's fine. I can add that, and then I'm going to add the URL to that venue page as well. And that's the important thing. It's to the venue page, the Poetry Cafe, and it's content/cafe. So I'm going to add that in, and I don't believe there's an easy way of identifying a Facebook page. I can't see it on this page, so I'm not going to worry about adding the Facebook ID. So I've got that, the Poetry Cafe, and the website URL has been entered. So I'm going to hit next. And again, that's me done. So I'm going to do one final example to show you. This one here is the Arts Theatre. Now, what I'm going to do here, if I start typing this, the Arts Theatre, you will see I've got a few examples here. What I might just do, if I just take out the, I'm just going to take out the, just to a nice double check if there's a the in front of the title, in front of the name, is to take out the and just type the venue name without the, just to double check to see if we've got it. And in this example here, Arts Theatre West End, and this is the Arts Theatre in London and in the West End. Sorry, in London and in the West End there. So actually, this is the same venue. We already have this. It's just when it was originally entered, it was entered without the in front of it. So what I'm going to do here is actually I'm going to do a review this existing venue. So if you'd have seen there, actually that changed from create to review because we already have it. So because we've already got it, I don't need to add anything else. I'm just going to hit review this existing venue, and I then have to go to a page because it's a review. I've got a little bit more extra information, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say a full review of all steps. We've already got it. I don't know how it's doing, whether it's fully operational. So I'm just going to say full review of all steps, and then I'm going to hit review. And that's that done. So we've gone through a few examples there. A couple where we didn't have the venue, and one where we did have the venue. We had to do a slightly different search and take out the in front of the venue name. But that's it. So that's step one. That's how we initially onboard venues into the system, which is the first step in the process. And then the next step is onto the second part of the venue creation, and that will be covered in a different tutorial.